Got legends in the building. Like, comment, and subscribe. So today I want to talk about Anthony Joshua. And the past couple of days I've been pondering a few things. I've been wondering if all the criticism of Anthony Joshua is warranted. Now let's just examine something. He was supposed to fight Dillian Whyte, and everyone was saying this was a good fight for both fighters, but because Dillian Whyte popped there, they got a late change of replacement with him. I think it was 5 days notice or 7 days, whichever one it was. So in steps Robert Helenius. Now everyone seems to consider that Robert Helenius is some sort of bum and he's not a good fighter. The Kawanaki back-to-back defeats that he defeated Kawanaki and show that he still is a good fighter, and he did have promise. And also there is the fact that that's came out that he took certain fights on short notice and he was injured. Now I'm not saying that this is an excuse, but the Nordic Nightmare at one time was a good boxer, but obviously defeats by Johan Duapers, the fight with Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder, Gerald Washington. Obviously, after time, when you get hit, your punch resistance is going to go. And especially if you're getting knocked out, your punch resistance is going to go. Now, me personally, it was a good match, but the ideal match would have been Hrgovic. But again, because Anthony Joshua is still rebuilding after the Usyk losses, I don't think it's the actual trauma he took in the fight. I think it's mentally because he lost, and he lost to a superior boxer, and they're trying to build his confidence and make him kind of feel like he's Joshua again, if you can say that. That's why he's took these fights. But to be fair, I understand the criticism because the two back-to-back fights that he's had have been Jermaine Franklin and now Robert Helenius. Now, personally, the Franklin fight, he did show a lot of different skills and he boxed a lot better. Even in this Helenius fight, he fought very well and he knocked Helenius out. But the running theme has always been in his career with Anthony Joshua. He's always been learning on the job and he's always trying to get better. And we saw that when he fought Andy Ruiz, and then obviously he fought Usyk, he tried to box. Now, he has never probably been the best boxer, but technically he used his abilities that he had when he would dispatch people. So he'd use his range, his size, and he would box and use his jab. But because of the Olympic style of boxing, that's sort of amateurish as well, his chin was always out. So of late, you've seen him try and, like, when he's fighting certain people that are smaller, he'd try and crouch and box sort of at their level, which didn't always work because he would always get hit and he'd get his nose broken. But the point I'm trying to make is he's tried numerous different ways to box when really his style is a big strong guy that combination punches and then just goes for the knockout. But it's not going to always work against certain fighters, hence the Ruiz defeat. Well, that's why people can't seem to reconcile the fact that he got defeated and he got beaten. You do need other styles to defeat other fighters, which is what he's done. Now, is the criticism warranted that he's getting because he didn't knock out Helenius sooner? Yes, it is warranted, and it serves him and Eddie Hearn right, I think, because there has been a bit of deception and a bit of conning the public, in the sense that the Franklin fight first was a con because he was supposed to fight Dillian Whyte straight away after that, and he didn't. For some strange reason, they gave Franklin another bite at the cherry because he did so well against Dillian Whyte, and they realised, well, he's been beaten by Dillian Whyte, so Joshua should beat him. If Joshua beats him, then we can settle this fight. But Eddie Hearn still didn't want the Whyte fight because, one, Whyte is probably not as loyal to him as he used to be, and he tells him how it is because Eddie Hearn's snide, as we know, and also, he just didn't want to mess up his chance with Deontay Wilder. So this is kind of like now the time where Eddie's trying to milk the British public for as much money as possible, and Joshua's on board with it because, like people have said, to go from Wembley or big stadiums to back to the O2 where he started off with Dillian Whyte, it's a big fall from grace. And a lot of people are saying the way he's talking and the way he is now, it's like, it's cringe. Yeah, it is, but this is Joshua. I think Joshua has always been this person that's trying to reconcile two worlds. So he's trying to reconcile the business side of things with where he's from and his background in the street, and he tries to do it in a diplomatic way, but it doesn't really ring well because it seems like he's being false or fake, like Dillian says. So in a sense, we don't actually always see who he actually really is, but we're seeing a little bit more the mask slipping because you're seeing how he is. And maybe this is one of the reasons why Dillian always had this thing against him, because he realised a lot of it was fake. He was just putting it on to make the money, and I think he's learnt that himself as well, but he still tried to be as real as possible in the sense that of who he is, which is one thing you get with Dillian. He's always real, but at the end of the day, boxing's a business and you have to make money. But I think it's backfired on Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua because the criticism they're getting, they don't like it. Now, Tyson Fury has always had this kind of criticism, and before he came from his comeback and lost all the weight and started boxing again, nobody gave him any stick for fighting the people he fought because he understood that he was building and he had to build. But once he was back to fighting shape and he was fighting fit, you know, he did start to take on better opposition, and you have to kind of give him his dues because he fought Deontay Wilder and he wasn't really at the races in that fight, and he still gave a good account of him even though he got knocked down. He did win that fight on points, definitely. It wasn't a draw, but henceforth what it is what it is. But the point I'm trying to make is the parallels between the two is that some people are a little bit more willing to give Fury time and let him get away with murder, whereas with Joshua they're not, because Joshua represents British boxing and everything that I think people love about British boxing. But now people are seeing the dream is now becoming a nightmare, and the fallacy is that because he couldn't perform and do what he normally does, he's just milking a living out of the fans. And I think it kind of serves him right, to be honest, and Eddie Hearn, because they've not been honest, and he's kind of followed suit with Eddie and, you know, just gone on that bandwagon. When he said it's about the money, he literally meant it's about the money. It is about the money. It doesn't matter if you fight a quality opponent or if you can dispatch of him in a certain manner or way. You know, I don't think that really matters. I think the thing that matters is he's just getting paid, and he knows now he's not really got that many more fights. There's literally two more fights that he can fight, and it's Deontay Wilder and it's Tyson Fury, and I still think both fights are going to go through. Now, I still believe that Joshua will beat Deontay Wilder because he's got the better tools, and I think he's still got a point to prove. But in the criticism that he's getting and people saying this and saying that, it's warranted. It serves him right. He has no one to blame but himself, because again, the parallels, the money and the greed, that's kind of what set him up and put him in his position. Now he has more pressure on his head. Now, for a long time he's fought in the UK and he's done what certain American fighters do, where they stay at home base and just stay within the comfort zone. He should have ventured out a lot sooner and fought in different countries and different arenas. But obviously the moment he did that and he took that chance up, it failed miserably. The pressure, whatever it was that night, and then trying to impress and knock out Andy Ruiz in a fashion to try and rival Deontay Wilder, it just backfired. So it is what it is. So anyway, do you agree with my comments that it's Anthony Joshua's own fault? and he should have fought stiffer competition. And by far, Hrgovic would have been a really good test, and he should have fought Hrgovic. You know, at the very least, you know, Zhilei Zhang fought Hrgovic, and he gave a good account of himself, and people say that he won. So, in my opinion, he should have at least got Hrgovic and fought Hrgovic, because he would have given the fans the money's worth. If he didn't knock Hrgovic out, I don't think the fans would have had as much vitriol for him, and there wouldn't be much of this naysaying about Deontay Wilder. Also, he would have probably got some credibility back in the British boxing fans' eyes. So, what do you think? Leave your comments in the comment section. Like, comment, and subscribe. And that is another one from Knockout Legends. Peace.